Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
We just got a question from Just Pepper who said, do you guys get paid if we don't skip the ads? I think, I'd have to look it up, but I think even if you skip the ads, you get a little bit of money, like a penny or something like that. But I think you get a little bit more if people watch the ads.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really end up mattering all that much.
Well, it doesn't add up to much.
No, it doesn't.
We do get ad revenue.
Yeah.
Every month. I think ad revenue is about $200 a month.
Something like that, yeah.
So it kind of adds up over time, but
yeah.
But we have so many videos out there working for us. Most of them are like the old videos.
Yeah, because when it retroactively like monetized all the old ones.
Right.
Although I don't put ads in the middle because I don't like that and it annoys me. But I put them at the beginning and the end. And I make them all skippable.
Some of our old videos have like fucking 30,000 views on them. And those have made money over time. And it's like the Ed and Lorraine Warren video. And we were kind of evidently like the Ed and Lorraine fans didn't like what we said about them. And so it gets a lot of hits and a lot of fucking negative comments. It's funny. If people think you're an asshole, you make more money.
Sometimes. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to get people, like I said, that's not really, I mean, because
that wasn't the idea, but.
Well, and the thing about my mindset too is that if I start watching a video and the dude seems annoying or an asshole or whatever, I just click to another video. I don't like take the time out of my life to like comment on it.
For some reason, that Ed and Lorraine video gets some negative comments, but it gets a shit ton of views and it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money. It's just that if you were to look at the fraction, I think that one, some of the old ones actually are out there working pretty hard for us. But we also gain a lot of new subscribers off that video over time.
I mean, it depends too, because I think sometimes
it's divisive.
Well, sometimes what I was going to say was that a show that we did a long time ago, like about a serial killer, for example, and then like Netflix or something puts out a new documentary about it. So people will be like watching that kind of shit because they're like newly interested in the dude or whatever.
Right. It's just funny. Never can tell. Nothing's planned. Nothing about this channel is contrived.
No.
We're just doing it. And then it's
and
weird.
Sometimes it works out.
Sometimes it works out.
We don't ever mean to do like, oh, hey, I heard Netflix was going to put out a thing about this serial killer, so let's do a show about it. Literally every single time that's happened, it's been a total complete accident.
Yep.
Like it just so happened that we did something about it, and then Netflix decided they were going to do one.
The secret to this channel's success, if you want to call it success, I don't think it's success in comparison to what it would have been a long time ago before of fucking like the advanced algorithms. I think the show we'd probably have a couple 100,000 views by now, or a couple 100,000 subscribers by now. But the secret to our success is that we just wouldn't go away.
Yeah, the secret is we don't really have a secret. Yeah. We just kind of do whatever we feel like.
We wouldn't go away. Most other channels just go away over time.
And we just keep doing it.
We just kept doing it. We forced people to deal with this.
And like I said, in a lot of ways, our shit's kind of like intuitive. It's just, and we don't even mean for it to be intuitive. I know it's a weird thing to say, but it's just kind of like whatever movie we feel like doing, whatever topic, whatever. Yeah. And it just ends up working out most of the time. You know what I mean? Not always, but. And interestingly, how we saw this movie was kind of like that too. It was kind of an interesting little kismet. Because remember yesterday, we talked about that 2014 Kevin Smith movie, Tusk, right? Yeah. And David June had sent us the Blu-ray of that. Now, on the Blu-ray, there were a bunch of other trailers. Because I was actually not aware of this, but Tusk was distributed partially by A24 Studios. So one of the trailers on the beginning of Tusk was from another movie that was from A24 that was an Australian movie called The Rover. And then we saw the trailer and Tom's like, that looks really good. Because it looks like a post-apocalyptic. I don't know if it's post-apocalyptic or it's more like dystopian. I guess you would call it more dystopian than post-apocalyptic. I don't think there's been a nuclear war or anything like that.
Well, they said it was 10 years after the collapse.
I think it was like an economic collapse. But I think that there's still like some shit going on, please, because there's still people still work in the mines. Yeah. People still take money, although they all take American dollars, even though it's set in Australia. So this was like actually a really interesting movie, and I'm surprised that I didn't hear about it at the time that it came out.
Yeah, it's Australian. It has a lot of callbacks or shout outs to Mad Max 1. So it's that kind of collapse movie. I would say this may be happening around the time of, or 10 years after Mad Max 1, but not in Mad Max 1, it's definitely the 70s or early 80s, okay? It's supposed to be a little bit futuristic, but you know how it is. They didn't have the money to really show the future. You know.
True.
It's funny, you see Mad Max 1 and you think it's talking about the 70s. It's clearly supposed to be the future. So whoever wrote this knows Mad Max, of course. That's an Australian fucking, masterpiece. And it's kind of piggybacking along with Mad Max 1.
Even though it's a lot different than Mad Max.
Very different.
It's almost kind of like Mad Max meets The Road.
Yeah.
With like some other kind of shit thrown in there too. It's a very bleak, it's very nihilistic.
Yeah. Well, so was Mad Max 1.
That's true.
It's just that Mad Max 1 was a car guys movie.
Yeah.
It was about cars and combat with cars and societal collapse and the loss of fucking government fucking legitimacy. Everything was kind of a sham, which that's happening in this movie. There's a military, but it's kind of like a fake military. It doesn't really have the purpose, or not a legitimate purpose. And that's what that one scene was about, where he was asking that soldier once he got captured, how is it he wakes up in the morning, you know what I mean? Fucking all this shit's really has no meaning. I mean, I don't want to make any spoils, but the dude had committed a serious crime 10 years prior, and he never even got caught for it because nobody gave a shit. So
it's that kind of a movie.
The collapse was a societal collapse.
It seemed like they were hinting that it was like an economic collapse. Because like I said, there was still gasoline, there was still paper money, there was still people running stores and stuff.
Well, societal collapse and economic collapses are there's kind of a link with that. It was a collapse in the way that Brazil collapsed when I was there. Yeah. People still went to work and everything, but no one had any legitimacy.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
Okay, the government was illegitimate. The police were illegitimate. Everything was fucking illegitimate. It was just a hollowed out shell or a zombie of what it had been 20 years before. Yeah, there were cops, but the cops were criminals. And the criminals were the ones kind of keeping order. Not really. They were more like armed militias. It was that kind of a collapse. Yeah, the economy collapses along with it because the banks don't have any legitimacy. And they just print endless money. So it's just paper. And he mentions that. It's all just paper.
Just Pepper said, what did they use for currency in the movie? But it had to be U.S. currency. They wouldn't take Australian money.
They had Australian money.
They had, people still had it, but no one would take it.
Nobody would take it.
Everybody said it has to be U.S. dollars.
Right, but then he attacked that idea too, because he said, well, that's just paper too.
Yeah.
So the collapse was happening in America also. It's just that from the Australian perception is that American money was worth more than Australian money. But he was saying, no, it was equally worthless.
Well, I think too they implied as well, because some of the characters, like the character that Robert Pattinson plays in this is, supposed to be from the American South, as was his brother. Yeah. And then there was like some Chinese people in there. There were some other people. So I think the implication was that people had come to Australia to work in these mines, like they were gem mines or whatever they were. They showed like a little, I feel like this movie, there's a lot of stuff going on like around the perimeter of the movie that it's like they don't really, because it's mostly a character piece. I mean, Pearce is just this dude, and he just has this quest in the beginning, like he's sitting in a bar, or what passes for a bar in this world, and somebody steals his car, which is parked out front, and pretty much the entire film he's just trying to get this car back. You don't know why until the end, and I don't want to spoil that. But it's everything that happens like up to then is just like a byway on that particular goal of him trying to get his car back.
The reason why there's America and China in it, because it's an amplification of the way Australians feel like they're caught in between the Chinese Empire and the American Empire. All right. And yeah, there was immigration from both of them. This is like a progression of Australian worries from 2014. Was it in 2014?
Yeah, that's when this came out. Yeah.
When this came out, right? It'd probably be worse now with all the lockdowns and everything, and what's going on with China. But the if you guys play Fallout, it's a lot like Fallout to a certain extent, and Mad Max 1. Maybe it's not as progressed as Fallout. In that video game, it was a nuclear apocalypse in an alternate timeline. This is this timeline. It was not a nuclear exchange, but it was something that civilization collapsed. Its legitimacy collapsed.
Yeah.
It still had economy, but it's implied that some of the economy is based in slave labor too, just because there were slaves in there. If you didn't notice, they had sex slaves, most of them male, or at least the one that they showed. So there may have not been very many females. So that's kind of like calling out to A Boy and His Dog. If you've seen that movie, A Boy and His Dog.
Yeah, this had a little bit of a vibe of that too, although not funny in the least.
No. Well, A Boy and His Dog wasn't funny either when you thought about it. The main character was Don Johnson, was running around trying to find women to rape and kill.
True.
It wasn't that funny. He thought it was funny.
Well, that's what I mean, but I just feel like the tone of this is like a little bit different. The tone of this is more like The Road or like Mad Max, something like that. It's very, very, very bleak. Yeah,
there were I don't think they showed any young women as if they were kind of an endangered species.
I mean, the one woman, she was kind of young. She was the doctor.
Yeah, but she was hiding, remember?
Yeah.
And she didn't accept money, and that's all she did was to be a doctor. And I think I don't think there were very many young women around. They didn't show them. It was a collapsing population and a collapsing. Anyway, the movie is basically, or Guy Pearce, and the movie itself is a Western.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is what it is.
It's kind of like a weird Western, like anti-hero.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce's character, I think his name is Eric.
Yeah.
He's like not a good guy. Nobody is a good guy in this.
Kind of like The Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Called The Unforgiven.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a post-apocalyptic version of that character. I forgot what Clint Eastwood's character was. He can shoot. He knows guns, but he's not a gunslinger. He's just a damn rover. You guys that can rove around, I guess. But there's a play on words there with dogs. You'll see what I'm talking about. But he's an amoral survivor, kind of like a dude who will survive at all costs, even though he doesn't really like it. But he survives.
Yeah, he doesn't. Like I said, this is definitely. I mean, there's other characters in it, but honestly, it's Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson plays this dude named Ray, or Reynolds, I think is his full name. And he's kind of, he's supposed to be kind of a little slow, right?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And so I guess him and his brother and two other dudes at the beginning, they were engaging in some illegal activity. I don't even know if you ever figure out what it was. I'm assuming it was some kind of robbery or something.
It had to do with those soldiers. They killed those soldiers.
Yeah, and so Robert Pattinson gets shot. And he's still alive, but I guess his brother and the friends like leave him for dead. Like the brother is kind of like, "Hey, we have to go back and get him," and they're like, "Yeah, fuck that." And the three guys, they're the ones that end up stealing Guy Pearce's car, which kind of like leads to that whole thing. And then Guy Pearce ends up coming across Robert Pattinson's character and decides he's going to help him, like take him to a doctor or whatever, because he figures out the dude that stole his car was his brother, so he wants to know where the brother's going, and like, we have to go there and get my car back and all this other stuff. So I didn't realize this until I looked up this movie on Wikipedia. It was written and directed by David Michôd. He's the same guy that did he did that other movie with Guy Pearce, because I think this is only his second one. What was it called? Fucking Animal Kingdom. That's right. I haven't seen that one either, but I heard that was also really good. And he co-wrote the story with Joel Edgerton, and I was like, Joel Edgerton is the same guy who wrote, directed, and starred in that movie The Gift from 2015, the one about that creepy stalker dude. That was like really, really good. He's also an actor. He was in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. He played young Uncle Owen, you know? Yeah. He was that. And he was also in Boy Erased, which we saw at the theater. He wrote and directed that as well. So he's kind of gets around. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah, that guy. I know who that is. But yeah, so he was the one that did that. And this part was actually written for Guy Pearce specifically because they had worked together before. And man, I think I said this when we were talking about The Lighthouse, because Robert Pattinson was also in that. And maybe this might have been one of the first, like, kind of serious roles that Robert Pattinson got after, like, all that Twilight debacle that he was in. And he actually came and tried out for this role, and they were, like, really, really impressed. They're like, hey, you know, they just thought, hey, Twilight guy, but he can actually really act. You know what I mean? Which, you know, they found out subsequently later on because he was in like a bunch of indie shit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No, well, I guess the only thing I can say to this is I guess the main character and his little southern sidekick. If you know Mad Max lore real well, you'll see that basically what they've done is they've kind of reversed some of the stuff. But it is kind of it's kind of an inversion of the situation between Max and the gyro captain. The little southern kid who's slow is short instead of being tall and intelligent, but he still has those same rotten teeth. And the main character that Guy Pearce is playing is kind of like Mad Max in a way, with the same kind of similar problem with, you know, a dead wife type issues, but there's more to it in this one. You'll see that they inverted a lot of stuff. It's kind of like an anti-version of the relationship between Max and the gyro captain.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way down to the teeth and certain ambushings and shit, but things are reversed. You'll see what I mean if you know a Road Warrior real well.
I mean, this is a pretty interesting movie because, like I said, there's not a ton of dialogue in it, and it's kind of slow moving, and a lot of things aren't explained. But in a way, I kind of liked that better because it seemed like as soon as it started, you kind of really got sucked into it because you were just wondering what the fuck was going on. And it just really kind of kept you in suspense the whole time because you weren't entirely sure. Like, you weren't entirely sure why Guy Pearce wanted the car so bad because he got another car. Like, he stole the other dude's car.
Yeah, and cars evidently aren't valuable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like he needed it, like, to get around.
Which makes sense. If you have a collapsing population, there'll be a lot of cars laying around. And they had fuel. But they didn't have a lot of people driving.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be a gas shortage or anything like that.
Yeah, and you know, there weren't a lot of people driving. So they had fuel, you could get it. They had ammunition, you could get it, you could buy it. They had a lot of guns laying around because, you know, the military had collapsed. It wasn't around. There was a military, but it was like, okay, a whole military base was 3 guys. Okay.
That's all was left of that one.
You know, and it didn't have much legitimacy to it, evidently. They were just kind of going through the motions. They didn't really care much about the system. They were just being paid. Which they get into that. It's a good movie. Mad Max and the Road Warrior kind of was a high energy movie. This is the opposite. It's kind of low energy. It's weird.
Yeah, a lot of it's a character piece.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's these 2 guys, and sometimes there'll be like really, really long scenes where they're just talking, or you know, they're just kind of like walking, like in the outback or whatever, something like that. So, you know, so don't think that it's gonna be like it's
not car combat.
Yeah, we keep saying that it's like Mad Max, but it just in the time kind of like tone or vibe of it. It's not really like Mad Max in the sense of being an action movie. It's much more like a character drama.
I like Mad Max, and I liked a lot of the post-apocalyptic movies, and it fit right in with them. I knew what they were doing. It was kind of doing A Boy and His Dog and Mad Max, but it was kind of a darker tone to it. A little bit more modern. It was a little updated, but it did do a bunch of callbacks to those movies. And, you know, Guy Pearce is great in it. He doesn't say much, but he's kind of a Clint Eastwood type character, even though he runs around just in shorts the whole time. I mean, the way he's dressed, he does not look stereotypical. He's just a dude running around in shorts.
Yeah, he's just got like cargo shorts and like a button-up shirt on, like you would if you were in the Australian outback.
Yeah, and he's just real fucking scruffy looking. And so there isn't any kind of like leather outfits or anything, you know. This is like
it's a lot more realistic.
Yeah. Well, Road Warrior and Beyond out of the Mad Max series is one, it's being told to you in a legendary form as if it already happened a long time ago.
Right.
And it's being told to you by tribal people. Okay. And it's describing in Road Warrior and Beyond after that as other tribal people. So, you know what I mean? They're tribal motifs to the way they're dressed. There weren't any textiles. It was all leather.
Yeah.
So, who knows if the narrator is reliable out of all the Mad Max movies? You know what I mean? You're being told this by savages.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like an element of myth making.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? At the end of the movie, there's always somebody, and this is what I remember back in the old day, you know? Or there's
I'm going to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. Or, you know what I mean? In Fury Road, it was, the whole movie was quoted from a holy book about a road warrior. Yeah, so...
Yeah,
he was kind of like a wasteland version of Jesus.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a lot more kind of realistic. It has like a Western type of thing to it. I saw a couple of reviewers compare it to Bone Tomahawk a little bit. Just in the sense of it's real violent, but just in parts. Like a lot of it is just kind of like character work or characters having discussions, and then every now and then there'll be like this really brutal violence, usually just like people getting shot randomly, but like I said, it's just it's a more like realistic type of take on it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
there's gunfights in it, but they're not glorified gunfights. They're just murder.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
which is the way they actually are.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant by saying it was like realistic. It's not like, oh no, that character's dead. It's like people just walk up and like blam, you know what I mean?
Shooting people without warning or sneaking up on them while they're asleep, shooting them in the back, you know, shit like that, that's the dream of fucking commandos and Delta Force. You know, you're attacking when they're asleep and when they're at their weakest, you know. Why would you be attacking when they're at their strongest? You're attacking when they're at their weakest. You're trying to maximize enemy casualties and minimize friendly casualties, you know. So you come in there fucking 4:30 in the morning while they're all taking a piss or sleeping. That's when you're gonna go. Yeah. And you're going to do it in the middle of a fucking rainstorm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, how many live streams are you doing? Same amount that we do every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do one, I don't know, how many do we do a week?
I think
5?
We do 4 or 5 weeks.
I think we do 5. We're not doing any next week because I'm going to be on vacation.
She's on vacation.
But we've recorded a bunch of stuff that I'm going to put up. So there'll still be like stuff to watch. It just won't be live. Yeah. And I'll be back we're going to do the live stream tonight, or not tonight, Friday night, like we usually would. And we'll do the live stream the following Friday because I'll be back by then. So I'm not going to miss any of the main shows, just like the sidetracks and stuff like that. So yeah, this is actually, if you like a lot of A24 stuff, if you like kind of dystopian stuff, like Western kind of stuff, like I said, it's not an action movie. It's real violent. It's like character based, real bleak, real nihilistic, and kind of slow moving, but that's not a bad thing.
It's not really that slow moving. It's just,
not really. Like a lot of shit happens when you think about it.
Happens in it. It's just it doesn't come across as a real high energy movie, but there's a bunch of shit happening in it. It's like a Western, but it's very Australian. You'll see it's good.
It won a bunch of awards, like in Australia when they showed it over there. But didn't make a shit ton of money, but made more than a movie like this would normally make.
Kind of getting a lot of respect for that A24.
They make some good shit.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
I mean, they kind of
a little indie company, huh?
Yeah, I mean, their shit's kind of diverse because I think Gramthars Hammer pointed out earlier, and I had forgotten about this, but A24 put out that Spring Breakers movie too. So they said they do like movies like that as well.
Said it was good. Said it had a bunch of boobs in it.
Well, yeah, and then that's
I'll have to judge
And that's
it for
Tom's
myself.
mark of quality.
I have to fucking judge that.
I heard it was good. It had a lot of boobs in it. That's all he needs to know. He doesn't care what it's
I'm
about.
glad you picked up on that. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me put my goggles on. There you go. Those are boob magnification goggles. They magnify boobs. Yeah. C cups become double E cups.
You gonna patent those and sell them?
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna fucking sell them. Actually, I'm gonna rent it. I'm gonna lease them out. kind of like Howard Hughes' dad did with Tool Co. He had making drill bits that could get down to where the good oil was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't sell them, you lease them. So you can make all the money. You patent it and lease them.
Yeah, that's how
so
he
you
made
make a
all the money.
fortune.
See, he was like pretty smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Do we have anything else we need? How long have we been going on? I don't even know. Like my fucking thing is all messed up. Okay, so 31 minutes. That's not too bad. Yeah, because we probably won't go on too much. Like, what are you doing? Oh, okay. I'm looking. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working. Just check.
Yeah, Gramthars Hammer said Spring Breakers should be high on your list of movies to review.
Yeah, I have to check that out.
I mean, pretty much every A24 movie I've seen I've liked. Like I said, everybody knows like the big hitters like Hereditary and Midsummer and all those, but they've made a bunch of and there's some movies I just keep forgetting that it was A24. I had totally forgotten that Tusk was put out by A24.
Yeah.
So like I said, they're kind of all over the map, honestly. They do, but they mostly they just do a lot of indie shit, which, that's good. Tom, you look cool. However, being English, I'm getting that goth Leeds feeling.
Yeah. I'm ready to go back to Leeds and hang out with fucking Andrew Elton.
Yeah. That's right. Spring Breakers was directed by Harmony Korine. He was the same guy that was the same person that did what was that fucking movie? The Beach Bum. Remember that we saw in the theater?
That was fun.
Yeah, that's the same director.
Okay, have to check it out.
That was a weird ass movie. Well, that was a good movie, but it was like weird. I remember we went and saw that in the theater. I think we were the only people in there.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
We should have been smoking in there.
Yeah, probably.
Dropping acid. Drinking at least.
Yeah, see, we never
drinking.
really. I mean, a couple of times when we went to movies, like in the fancy theater.
Yeah.
A couple times because AMC's had the bar.
Yeah.
So you could get cocktails, but they're kind of expensive.
They're expensive and they're weak.
Yeah, they don't make them super
really
strong.
weak. Yeah.
I like that they have like little themed ones for whatever the movies are coming out, but yeah, they don't pour them like super well because they don't want a bunch of people running around like maniacs in the fucking movie theater. People are like messy enough as it is when they're sober, for Christ's sake. Messy enough and loud enough. It's like, yeah, let's not add alcohol on top of that, biz.
Yeah.
Poor people that work there and be like, having to clean up all kind of crap. People would be jumping off the fucking ceiling like chimpanzees. You know what I mean?
If you like video, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was kind of just a random choice, and like I said, it totally piggybacked off of seeing Tusk because it was one of the trailers that was on Tusk of all things, even though it's absolutely nothing like Tusk at all.
Right.
But I guess, like I said, so it was the same studio.
Yeah, check it out. You can get it for $2.99, I think, on Amazon. You can rent it for $2.99.
Yeah, I think it was $2.99.
Either $2.99 or $3.99. It's worth it.
Yeah, so like I said, if you like that kind of thing, then if you like dystopian kind of movies, and you've seen some of the other, and like I said, that this director also did another movie with Guy Pearce, which is called Animal Kingdom, which is also supposed to be really good. Like they came out before this one, so probably I'll have to go watch that one too. But yeah, so you have anything else you want to say? What are y'all's big vacation plans? I'm just going on vacation.
Yeah, it's just her.
It's just me.
I'm staying here.
He's got to take care of the cats. He's got to take care of Pookie.
Yeah.
I'm not going very far. I'm only going to St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Which is only about an hour and 20 minutes from here.
She's been in this office for 5 fucking years, man.
Pretty much.
Sent her on vacation.
I haven't had a day off. Yeah. Well, because I work pretty much every day. Other than the only times I take a day off is Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Other than because everyone else is off too. But I don't get weekends off or nothing like that. Because
she's a writer, man. She's got to get out of here and fucking get the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get away from this shit. Then she'll come back.
Yeah. I'm just going for like 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to a bunch of museums, go to see some alligators and shit like that. Walk around. Eat a lot.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Gramthars is asking Tom and Jenny, not chat. Oh, well, that's all right. Everybody can answer. It's an open question. All right, so it's Tuesday today, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay. So it's Tuesday today, which means that tomorrow night is the Sidetracks party stream.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to like drink. Man, I need some sleep.
Yeah.
Yo, it's like I woke up at 3 in the fucking morning. I think it was. I don't even think it was 3 yet. I think it was like 2:45, and I could not get back to sleep. So finally, it was just like 6 a.m. and the sun was up. I was like, fuck it. I guess I'm getting up. So
when you getting off work today?
Well, we have to record one more thing.
Right.
And I have to edit it, but then after that we can, and then we just gotta watch one movie tonight that we gotta record a thing tomorrow, and then we'll be all caught up and we'll have extra shit for everybody to watch while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because I wanted everybody to have something every day to watch, even though we weren't live streaming every day.
Okay, let's get on this next one.
Okay, so we will see you guys tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. for the Sidetracks party stream. So get your cocktails or whatever your drink of choice is ready.
5 p.m. our time.
Yeah,
Florida.
Eastern Standard Time. So we will see you guys then. Thanks for dropping by.